What's good, everyone? How you doing? Welcome back to the RedVsRed Manchester United fan channel. I'm TheSaffronMan, and usually we do a bit of a match preview for our midweek game. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, so watch out for tomorrow's video. But I just wanted to have a quick conversation about something that we talked about on our podcast of the weekend with Sporadiclese. If you haven't watched it, by all means, go check it out on YouTube and on Rumble. Make sure you hit a follow for us. It's great. We're into double figures for both Rumble and YouTube now, so we're very happy for that. Thanks for your support. But I kind of wanted to talk about, as I mentioned, one of the questions on that podcast that we kind of briefly touched over, I wanted to go into a bit more detail, is Amorim's fire sale. Like, who is Amorim going to keep when Amorim turns up? Who would he want to get rid of? Like, maybe who he'd want to bring in. But I kind of want to go through our squad with you and just go through each of the players a little bit one by one. What their current price tag could be. Would they be going? Would they be worth keeping? Out on loan? Like, I just thought it'd be worth it. So, again, show your support. Let's get digging right on into it. So I've gone to PremierLeague.com, as you can see here, just so we can get a little bit of a visual talking about players. Maybe I'll just make that a little bit smaller so they're all on one, but there we go, sweet. So let's start with the goalkeepers. And again, let us know in the comment section if you agree with me, if I've got the price wrong, if you think I'm going to be wrong. Just let me know. It'd be good to have a conversation with some of you guys, alright? Again, let's start with the goalkeepers. Tom Heaton probably isn't going to be here within 12 months, right? Love the guy, solid keeper, should probably be having first team football elsewhere, maybe a mid Premier League team, but you know, he is a great goalkeeper and he's underused and he's going to be undervalued now being at 36 years old. But I think he's got at least another 2 to 3 years in him if he wants to keep up with the training. Having said that, I think he's turning into like a coach or something as well. Would it be good to keep on that side of things? I'm not so sure. I just can't see Amorim having Tom Heaton in within 12 months. Whether it be I don't think January is a good time to get rid of a third goalkeeper. But I think his contract is up at the end of the season. So I think we'll see Tom Heaton leave at the end of the season. We'll see, but he's got like 7 to 8 months to kind of sort things out and see what things are like under that Amorim era, right? Next is Altay Bayındır. Now, last season, or season before, we've been looking at goalkeepers quite a lot, and we nearly got that guy from Japan. I think he's gone to Frankfurt or Germany since, and he's just like lighting things up. So we're not going to get him for like 10 million anymore. Bayındır is #1 Turkish international, so he's got a bit of a price tag on him. Maybe 15 million, maybe. Again, is he #1 material for us? I haven't seen that when he's been playing. So if we can get 15 million and Amorim's got an idea of what he wants his goalkeepers to be, he could probably find a good couple of goalkeepers to replace Heaton and Bayındır, right? So potential that Bayındır might not be here in 12 months. Again, same as Heaton, I don't think he's going to go in January, but he could leave, especially for more first team football, in the summer. So we'll see. Andre Onana. I'm not fully convinced on Andre Onana. If you've been watching the videos, you kind of know that. I've had a goalkeeping past, amateur goalkeeping past. I'm not saying I'm a pro or anything. But I just, what I see in Amorim in Onana doesn't fill me with confidence. His positions, yes, he's come up with some good saves of late, and we didn't really have that level of saves from him last season. But we're not seeing his passing. We're not seeing his distribution. He said he's going to be making anyway. I'm not fully convinced. Right? Let me know down below. Probably around a 40 million, maybe 30 million price tag. We got him for like 50. So maybe his price has gone down, I would say, even though we have won a couple too. The performances in Europe that he's had for us last season especially were clanging. And yeah, I think his price is getting back up now. If he was a stock exchange, it is a bit rocky, but I think he's on his way back up now, and it's going to be pretty cool. So we'll see. I think he's too expensive to replace. I think there's a lot of people that are going to be sold or replaced in the next 12 months. I think he's an expensive one to do that. If we were to keep Andre Onana and get a couple of youngsters in and then they can challenge over time, I think that's going to be a better option. So I think Amorim's signing a 2.5-year contract. If he can sign a couple of youngsters and start pushing for a place within 12 to 18 months, then I think we'll probably start selling Andre Onana. But again, let us know what you think. So that's the goalkeepers. So potentially all of them could go, but I think we're going to keep Onana for a little while and try and get some youngsters in. Defenders. So lots of options here. Now we have to get in the mindset of Amorim, right? What formation or setup does he like to play? How much money does he want to garner in order to bring in more players? You know, some of those Sporting players are 70, 80 million each. So he's going to want a transfer kitty, right? Lindelof, sold. Maguire, going to be sold within 12 months. So if not this January, by the summer transfer market. Lindelof, Maguire, gone. Martinez, I think, will stay unless an outrageous Saudi offer comes in, right? Tyrell Malacia doesn't even have an image in the squad picture because he hasn't played in so long. So yeah, if we can give him away, I'm sure we probably will in order to get a left back into the squad, right? So I think Malacia is definitely on the chopping block. Delot, I think he's on the chopping block. Just too average. He's been here for so long now. He knows the club. He knows the standard. He knows the levels. And when you're defending within 2 minutes of the game and you let your runner go, he scores and you hold your hand up. And how do you do that after like 8 years at Manchester United? He's not going to learn, is he? If he's not going to learn by now, he's not going to learn ever. I just don't think he's at the level for Manchester United. And I think Mazraoui coming in for 13.5 million or something has absolutely showed him up, because Mazraoui is now higher in the pecking order, in my opinion, than Diogo Dalot. If we can get 20 million for him, I think he's going to go. And that's the bottom line. Same thing with Luke Shaw. Luke who? I hear you cry. Yes, he's injured again. So I'm doubtful he's going to be playing again this year, which means he's had more England games for Manchester United in the last 18 months or something. It's stupid. It's crazy. So get rid of him. Like, get rid of Malacia, get rid of Luke Shaw. Johnny Evans, I think, is a strange one, because he shouldn't really be at the club. Although we're all grateful that he is, he's turning up and putting results in when we need him. Like, if we need to make a sub with like 5 minutes to go, 20 minutes to go, half an hour, 45 minutes, he is a fantastic emergency backup, right? And when he comes on, especially this year, he is playing, I'm not even flinching, at a world-class level. He is just above and beyond everyone else on the pitch. He is carrying that defensive line. And not only that, he's bombing forward. He's bombing forward and making runs. He's just amazing to have around, and to see that effort on a pitch from someone like Johnny Evans. He is rejuvenated and revitalised. Keep him another 12 months. Give him another emergency contract. And I think we will find use out of him. Is absolutely amazing. Keep Johnny Evans, please. Just because he's a great guy and a fantastic player with all the experience that you could ever want. So yeah, keep Johnny Evans. Harry Amas, how this lad hasn't got any minutes so far this season is beyond me. We haven't had a left back. We're down to Diogo Dalot at Mazraoui. We've put in Martinez at left back whenever needed. This guy must be thinking, what have I got to do to try and get some minutes? Not even in the League Cup, not even in Europe, where we haven't won for over a year. It's frustrating. I'm sure he's frustrated. So he needs to get minutes, but it's a weird one. I mean, at the moment, he's probably, he's got so much potential. You'd probably put like 10 to 15 million on him, but you'd want some perks on his contract, right? Whether it be 50% sell clause or whatever. I don't know. It's a wild one. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen to Harry Amas in the next 12 months. Do you think he's going to get his chance? Do you think we're going to move him on? If I was him and I haven't played yet this season, with all the troubles that we've had, I would be questioning what the hell's going on. So I'm sure he is too. But I don't know if he's going to stay or go. Lenny Oro, he's going to be back before the end of this year, like before Christmas. He's on the training pitch now, and I'm sure he's not going to play before Amorim turns up. Why would you risk it? Just let Amorim come in, let him chill out in training and just get to grips with the guys a bit more. And when Amorim comes in on the 10th or the 11th, you can make a decision whether he's match fit, how he's going to fit into your system. You get to know the guy and how to get the best out of him and all that jazz. I wouldn't play him in a game or two before Amorim turns up. It's just a risk not worth taking. But he's definitely going to stay. 100%. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Mazraoui, God, just turned into a club legend overnight, pretty much. Just his energy, enthusiasm, he is absolutely 100% staying. Left or right, he's better than Delo on either side. He is our best available left back and right back all in one person. And he can play in other positions like Cam as well if needed. Just stick him up front. You know, we need to play Schmeichel up front one time. Let's put Mazraoui back up top. But I honestly, keep him. It's just absolutely amazing. Same as De Ligt. I think it's going to be down to personal preference for Amorim. But I definitely think we're going to keep Matthias De Ligt, right? He's captain material, in my opinion. You see the effort, the work rate, the strides. He's a big guy. And I just think he's perfect for us. And I thought he was perfect for us when he was 17 leaving Ajax. And it didn't work out then for whatever reason. But it's turned out that I think we're going to get the best out of him. He's 24. He's had a rough time at Juventus and Bayern Munich. And I think he's here now. And if we switch to a 3, I think he's going to dominate. He could potentially dominate. So I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely keep Matthias De Ligt. Fantastic signing for us as a club. But yeah, so just quickly brief up on the defenders. Lindelof will be going, Maguire going, Martinez stay, Malacia going, Delo going, Shaw going, Johnny Evans I hope stays for one more year. Harry and Mas, you let me decide and you let me know because that's questionable. Lenny Oro staying, Mazraoui staying, De Ligt staying, right? So there's a bunch, probably about 60 to 70 million worth of defenders available to sell there. Maybe. I'm just averaging out. You let me know if I'm wrong there. On to the midfielders. Toby Collier's out injured at the moment, but the one time that we've seen him play for us was against that Liverpool game where he replaced Casemiro, and I thought he was good. He gave an effort. He cared. He went forward and back, and he's a big guy as well. Strides. He's young and hungry. I really like Toby Collier. Will he fit into Amorim's system? He could be that diamond in the rough that Amorim goes, all right, what are you about, kid? And he was just surprising with the height of him. And I think he's very likeable. I think Amorim will see a lot of qualities in Collier. So, yeah, I think that's great. So Collier's staying, in my opinion. Mount, I think he's on the transfer market. I've just read that he's back in training after his head gash, which kept him out for 4 to 6 weeks or something. So I think he's been here for too long now, and all he's had is the injury. Yes, he's been unlucky. Is it his fault? Probably not. Some of it might be, some of it might not be, but I think he's in trouble, and I think he's on the transfer market, and I think if you get anything between 25 to 30 million for him, I think people are going to snap his hand off, and all the best to him in his career, especially if he stays. But I just think Amorim's going to see a 20 million cash bag above his head when he's walking around. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think Mount's going to go. He just hasn't produced enough as a squad player for us, let alone as a first-team player. As much as I like him, I think he's money in the bank. Bruno Fernandes, I think he's going to stay unless Saudi come in with a ridiculous like $150 million pound offer, kind of like they were trying to do for Mo Salah or something. He's in his prime. I still don't think he's hit his peak yet. I think his peak could be in the next 12 to 18, maybe 24 months. And he could hit new levels around 33 to 36. Remember, Luka Modric is still running around at 38, 39. I think Bruno Fernandes has the potential to have that. He's always fit. He plays even with broken hands. So I think Bruno Fernandes is going to be staying, right? Eriksen, I don't think is going to be here in 12 months, even though he's contender for one of our players of the season this season. I think his contract comes up at the end. I think he's playing for a new job next year. So yeah, all the power to him. I hope he wins silverware for us this season. And yeah, we're not going to get any money for him, but I still don't think he's going to be here next season. Casemiro, I don't think he's going to be here next season. I think, yes, he's been blamed for the Liverpool game and other games. For me, I gave up on Casemiro on that on the penalty shootout. I think he was at Brighton in the FA Cup or something like that, right? Just the complete lack of effort that this guy does. He was like the fourth or fifth penalty. He just walks up to the ball like you're going to the shops and kicks it down the middle of the goal like you're like 7 years old at the park. And the guy, it was just the worst. And I'm like, so I've been, yes, he's had good opportunities since, and he's done okay in our last game against Chelsea and against Leicester. But it hasn't worked out. It's a lot of money for not a lot of output. I think if Amorim can if he knows the key to unlocking Casemiro for the next 2.5 years throughout Amorim's contract, all the power to him. Keep him. Awesome. But again, I think he's going to see a cash bag above his head every time he's walking around. And we're not going to get 80 million for him. Are we going to get 40? Unless I think Saudi wanted him for 100 million last season. That was the rumour anyway. Never happened, of course. But yeah, I think Casemiro is money in the bank if we can get him gone. I mean, the amount that he's on each week as well. 350 grand a week. More if he scores, more if he's captain. So yeah, Casemiro just hasn't worked out, in my opinion, in the long run. You just don't trust it. Every tackle as well. Some of them are good, but every tackle has to be analysed by VAR to make sure that he's allowed to stay on the pitch. And I just don't think we can have a player like that in modern football. So, yeah, fair play. Daniel Gore, probably be gone in 12 months. Kobe Manu, absolutely stay. I think Amorim's going to unlock the beast out of Kobe Manu, and he's going to be getting him going. Oh, I am so excited to see what Amorim does with Kobe Manu, and I think Amorim would be excited to see what he can do with Kobe Manu. Just such an amazing potential. Absolutely stay. Keep your hands off Real Madrid. He ain't going nowhere. Manuel Ugarte, I think he's staying. I think there's a player in there. I think he works hard. Yes, he likes to challenge like Casemiro. And Ugarte and Casemiro at the same time, like as a unit, I kind of like it. It puts fear in other midfielders if you've got two destroyers back to back, kind of just going ham. And I like the idea of that, especially against like Leicester. And I think that's a good idea to have players like that. That can play in similar positions, and I think he'll stay. I just think Casemiro is kind of too old, and he's got a price tag on him, but he doesn't have much more of a sell-on value in the future. So yeah, Ugarte is already our replacement for Casemiro, I think. Jason Fitzgerald, we will see when he gets some games, but I'm sure he's going to be here within 12 months. Let's go through the midfielders again. Collier, I hope he stays. Mount, I think he's going to go. Fernandes is going to go unless a big fee comes in. Christian Eriksen will run out his contract by the end of the season. Casemiro will be gone by the summer. Kobe Manu will be staying, and Ugarte will be staying also, right? Let us know what you think down below on the midfielders. On to the forwards then. Højlund's an interesting one. You know, the thing is, Amorim's already been talking about strikers. As soon as Amorim got announced, there's been like 5 to 6 different people been mentioned as an option. I think the guy from Sporting who's got he's 26, he's got like, I don't know, 18 goals already this season or something, but they're valuing it like 100 million plus, right? So we don't really have that at the moment unless we sell some players. What was the rough value that we did? 20 to 30 if we're lucky, 20 to 30 if we're lucky. So 50 to 60 in the midfield. I think we said 70 for the defenders if we're lucky. So it's just over 100 million already, give or take, a bit of an average. But how can we place? I don't think we're going to spend all of that on one player. If we do, kudos to Amorim, fair play. But a strike, we do need a strike. We do need competition in the striker. I'm going to get to Xerxes in a bit, but Xerxes isn't a competition for that out-and-out striker, right? So why we're not playing both of them at the same time, I don't know. It's square pegs and round holes for me. Someone needs to be competing for Rasmus Højlund to get the best out of Rasmus. I think Rasmus is going to stay. I think Rasmus is going to stay. I think he's got too much potential. He is too fast, too furious, too hungry, too fast for y'all, man. So no, he's great. I love Højlund, so keep him. Rashford, it's a big one. Look, people have been talking about Rashford being sold for the last 2-3 years. We all want him to stay if he plays well. Now, this season he has played well, in my opinion. He hasn't got all the goals, but he's putting in effort. He's dropping in deep. He's running in wide. His body language is good. He's laughing again. He's shooting. He's scoring goals sometimes. He's setting people up. He is that experience for. He's the guy that can kind of do a little bit of everything. He can score from 35, 40 yards. He can do a 60-yard crossfield pass. He can pass it outside the boot. He can do all sorts of things, and he just doesn't track back as much. If Amorim can sort that out mentally, it's either that, like, no one cares if you don't track back or not, if you're scoring goals. If Amorim can either give him the mentality of scoring 20, 30 goals a season again and just being absolute clinical going forward, he can stay forward as much as he likes and he won't have to run back, right? If he can't get that out of Rashford, then he needs to give him the mentality to track back and defend and play as a unit, as a team member. If he can't do either of those, I think he's going to sell him. I don't think it's going to be January because it's hard to sell a prime player by January. But I think he could potentially sell him in the summer if things don't work out for him, because he's a high-value target. Now, if things don't work out this season, I reckon we could still get 70 to 80 million for Marcus Rashford. If things do go well this season, he's on a huge contract, I think we can push for 100 or 120, maybe in the right market. If if another striker, if Ronaldo goes to a European club, or another big striker, if Lewandowski goes to, I don't know, Inter Milan again, or whatever, I think that it could spark a domino effect of strikers around being sold, or wingers being sold, like Sanchez, and I think that could be interesting, right? So keep an eye out for that one. There could be a domino effect which could allow someone, let's say like Bayern Munich sell like 4 players in 24 hours to other players in Europe, and they're like, right, we've got 150 million here, what do you want to do with it? They might just go, let's get Rashford. Someone might do that, right? So again, I would love him to stay here and play well for us and be an absolute legend and do a gigs and play for no one else. But his form has to be there. Otherwise, we're going to have to take that money that is an asset to the club, either on the pitch or off it. If he's not going to perform on the pitch, let's use his off-field assets and sell him and bring it like for 120 if he's good, or 80, whatever, and then we use that to build Amorim's squad. So just Rashford going alone, that's another 80 million on top of the 50 and another 70. So, already there is money there. Amad Diallo, I hope he stays, but he's not getting the opportunities, and when he does come onto the pitch, he's not taking those opportunities either. If you look at all these, only one person on 2 goals. How many shots? 14, 8, so 22, 24, mate, honestly, 53, and 64 shots, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals. 10% conversion rate within our strikers. It's shameful. So Diallo can be the next best thing, but just like everyone else, it's not working out. Diallo does have a good price on him. I think we can get money for him if needed, but he is definitely one of those players I would like to keep at Manchester United. Whether Amorim wants that, whether Diallo fits into Amorim's system or not, I'm not sure. But I think you can get money for him if needed. I don't think he'll go in January. I think we're gonna keep him. But he's got a good 8 to 10 months to try and impress Amorim. Anthony, give me a fiver and he's gone. Right? He's on big wage. He was worth 20 to 30 million. We ended up paying like 80 million for him. He hasn't done anything with that. He's probably our worst signing in the history of Manchester United. Let that sink in. Think of the Massimo Taibis. Like you think of the Veron wasn't that bad, but I mean, I'm salty with the whole Veron thing because I was really unlucky getting names on the back of my shirt when I was younger, I was like, Veron's coming, yeah, got the blue Man United kit, which was amazing. I love that blue kit. And got Veron on the back, and he was gone in like 7 months. I was like, oh, it just didn't work out. And Veron was much better than Anthony. 80 million down the drain, just sell him, move on, cut your losses. Whoever wants to pay the most has him, right? We'll even pay 5% of his wages or something. I don't know. But yeah, get rid of him, please. Thank you very much. What he's worth now, just get rid of him. Whatever it takes, get him out of the club. Garnacho, I definitely think he's going to stay. I think he's still mouldable. You can't call him a young guy anymore, right? He's a father. He's been at the club for a while now. He's like 20, 21. He's a young adult, but he is an adult. But I still think he's mouldable, right? I think Amorim can get the best out of him. I think this is the perfect time to be getting in the head of Alejandro Garnacho as a manager, because he wants to prove he's at that age. He's not inexperienced, and he's still got a massive ceiling that he can go through. So I think Amorim's going to love Garnacho, stay. I don't think Wheatley is going to be up to the task. You think of the people that we have, even though we're short on strikers at the moment, I want him to get minutes this season, but I think there are people in the under-18s and under-21s that are ahead of Ethan Wheatley. So we'll see. Our academy is doing bits at the moment, doing fantastic stuff. So, yeah, I think there are people ahead of Wheatley. I think we're just trying to give him minutes for a sale, maybe in January. Maybe he gets a few good goals around Christmas. Like Christmas is always busy. We get a few goals around Christmas. Ethan Wheatley could turn up and he could have a good end of the season. But it hasn't really happened yet. 0 appearances for us in the Premier League. So maybe he'll be here, maybe he won't. Joshua Zirkzee. So there was an article that came out that Ten Hag said, Zirkzee was not his signing. The club of Manchester United signed this player, and Joshua Zirkzee turned up at pre-season a stone overweight, or so when we got him. So it hasn't worked out so far. Started off really well, but as we see, he is slow. He is not in the best shape of his life. It's like he's just signed a big contract. He's like, right, and it's going to take time to lose that weight, to get back into shape and to play the system that Amorim wants. And honestly, 6 weeks ago, there were already rumours that Joshua Zirkzee is interested in moving to Italy, with 3 Italian clubs interested in buying him. And he had been with us for 4 weeks. So I don't know what's going on with Zirkzee. It's a strange one. Sounds like the club bought him over Erik Ten Hag, and if that's the case, that's even stranger because he doesn't fit any of our systems. He's not a striker. He's a 9.5, which takes up Mount's position, Bruno's position. It makes no sense why Zirkzee is at this club. I would love for it to work out. I think he's actually a cool stature, and I think he does things differently to everyone else. I hope Amorim can make it work. If not, that's another 54 million weight. I don't think you're going to get 54 million for Joshua Zirkzee, even though he's 22, 23. I don't know, but I definitely don't think he's up to the task at the moment. And the fact that there has been rumours of him departing already is so strange. So look, Amorim could absolutely go through and gut this squad and keep the best players available. Anala's going to stay for the next... I think Anala's going to be here in the next 12 months. Martinez is going to be here. Johnny Evans, I would love to be here. Harry and Mass, I just want to see have minutes. Euro's going to be here. Mazraoui's going to be here. De Ligt's going to be here. I would like Collier to be here. Mount is going to be sold. Bruno's going to be kept. Eriksen's going to leave it under contract. Casemiro will be sold. Mainu will be kept. Ugarte will be kept. Højlund will be kept. Rashford... I'll go on the fence still. I think he's going to be sold. I want him to be fixed and sorted out by Amorim, but I think he's going to be sold. Diallo, I think he's going to stay. Anthony's going to go. Garnacho's going to stay. And Wheatley is probably going to be gone in 12 months. And do you what? Joshua Zirkzee, you guys let me know down below. I've been TheSaffronMan. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Do you agree with everything that I said? If you haven't agreed with everything, let me know in the comments. Let's see if we can get 5 likes. Can we get 5 likes? I mean, I haven't asked for any likes ever before. I don't think Sporadiclese has either, so 5 likes would be great. I'm going to be back tomorrow with the preview of the PAOK game that we have in Europe, and Sporadiclese is going to be back on Friday with the match preview before our weekend game. So, thank you very much for your support. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time. Till then, peace.